What is the crack? Big Scott here on All Leeds TV with our fancy new overlays and stuff. Rhiannon has been absolutely loving my use of the word overlay for the past 3 days. She didn't even know it was a real word. But yeah, here we are again. We have Luke. How's it going? You're back?
I'm absolutely grand. Thanks for asking, Scotty. Yeah, I missed you all last week, and we had to bring in the troops, didn't we? We had to bring one of the other OKBs.
It was a good representation of Order Knows Better.
Yeah, good. How did he get on anyway? Did you look after him? He can be quite timid.
We did. Well, Ed was poking him with a stick, weren't you?
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just one thing, Scotty. I'm liking this. That side, the little badge that's very 𝐘𝐎𝐍𝐶-esque, isn't it?
Do you know what? All I done was threw like a wee gradient on our own logo and thought, oh, here, that's fancy.
You know, from a distance, it looks like, you know, the black and yellow, the black and gold 𝐘𝐎𝐍𝐶 logo. A little bit.
Nice.
I like it.
I like it. New look, All Leeds TV, but we're still talking the same old shite. Ed, how are you, mucker? How have you been?
I've been very, very well. Very well. Thank you for asking. How have you been?
I've been so much better this week. And I think it all comes down to we finally won a friggin' game. What the hell? Now, you were both at the game, weren't you?
Yep.
Right. What was that feeling like? Not whenever we went 2. What was that feeling like when it went 1 each? Ed, we should have been out of sight, and out of nowhere, Norwich equalised in the dying minutes of the game. What was the general feeling? Like, what did you feel?
It was horrible. I felt like we had just Leeds it up again. Same old stuff. And you say that it came out of nowhere, but I thought it was coming. Norwich were piling on pressure. It was that sub that Jesse March made, which I didn't understand. Taking Rodrigo off, he might have had a knock, but why he brought on Robin Koch when we're 1-0 up, we're cruising. The game was ours, and we could have easily gone on and scored a second goal, but he brings on Robin Koch, plays him in defensive midfield, and we go more defensive and drop back. And that invited pressure on from Norwich. And Norwich have obviously won a penalty and then got overturned. They hit the bar as well. So, the pressure was coming and that goal was coming. And yeah, when they equalised, you're thinking, right, it's the 90th minute. Yeah, this is awful. We've done it again. We've bottled it again. But then the fourth official held up 6 minutes of added time, and then you're thinking, all right, there's still time. We've got this. We've seen it before over the past few years. Oh Jesus, what has happened to me there? What comments on?
That was awkward.
But no, it was it was an awful feeling when they equalised. But obviously, when we went on and scored the winner, it was absolute pandemonium.
Yeah. You mentioned about us hitting the bar, and it's now come out weird. Is it joint second with hitting the bar most times in the league with Arsenal?
Really?
Apparently so.
Who's top, Scotty?
It's always good. We win that trophy of hitting the crossbar more than anyone.
It's always top as well.
What is it?
Who's top of that league if we're joint second?
I think Arsenal's top of the league of that one.
Oh, are they? Right.
Yeah, I think. I think I might be right on this. I might be wrong. Arsenal have hit the crossbar more than anyone, and then we're like joint second or something. There, Solanum says it's Man City top. We're joint with Arsenal. That's what it is. But yeah, obviously I was doing the watch along, and I ruined it for myself because I flicked over to one of my other screens to see how the other games were going. And obviously my stream from Hong Kong, because I was in Hong Kong on Sunday, it was a couple of seconds behind. So I seen that we were 2-1 up before we even scored. So completely ruined it for myself. Look, whenever that second goal went in, how many bones did you think you might have broke?
I didn't actually go. I wanted to the game, so I nearly broke my daughter's bones. I was actually watching it in the living room with my 2 girls, and it was 1-0, and then it went to 1-1. I was like, probably saying a lot of words that I probably shouldn't do in front of a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, but some choice words. And look, I was absolutely gutted. I was walking around, I was stomping. I thought, that's it. We've fucked it up. That's it. It's done.
Yeah.
We've fucked it up. That's it. The season's over. We're back in the Championship. We're going to another 10 years until we get out, sort of thing. And then I did the same thing as you, Scotty. I was watching from Hong Kong as well, funnily enough, because the flights were cheap this weekend. Probably were for you as well. So I went out there to watch it, and but I've got notifications set up on my phone from SofaScore, and they're right on the money. So it flashed through at 2-1, and I went, "We've done it. We've done it!" And I shouted, screaming at the girls. I was screaming at the girls, and they were coming in, cuddling me, and then we just watched it in awe. 30 seconds, 45 seconds later, Joffrey burying it. Oh. What an absolute feeling! What a feeling!
Fantastic. And do you know what? There's been a lot of questions raised in regards to why Jesse Marsch left it so late to bring Joffrey on. But from watching it, you could see when we were 1-0 up, he was actually getting Jamie Shackleton ready to come on. So it looked like at that point in the game, he had a plan of going, right, we're going to see this out. But it was too late. By the time he went to make the sub, Norwich had equalised. Then he done this weird, drastic thing of he changed his plan at the end of the game. Now, I'm not used to seeing a manager at Leeds doing this where they've changed their game plan during the game. And he just goes, right, we're going to bring Joffrey on and go for the win. Didn't want the draw. He knew himself. You could tell. I think the overall feeling was that we can't not win this. And Jesse Marsch knew that and sort of went, right, screw this. Let's get Joffrey on. And he was told you've 2 minutes to win the game.
Yeah. We spoke about this on OKB and just on the substitutions and that. I didn't think it was as negative as what you made out there, and I don't think it wasn't as defensive as it made out. Yeah, albeit we brought a centre back on to play central defensive midfielder and took arguably the man of the match off, who was our biggest attacking threat. But like for like, Click moved forward. So we still play the same formation. We didn't really change formation at all. I mean, we did sit back a little bit more, but naturally we were going to do that anyway because we're inviting pressure on. But just to go on to the Joffrey thing, I don't think we didn't. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but we didn't need Joffrey on. We were controlling the game. We should have scored 5 or 6 goals. We should have been 6 or 7 up. And at that stage, we probably didn't need it. In the balance of the game, we were in control. And whilst we were inviting pressure on toward the end, and it did feel like it was coming, I think potentially, and I can say it now because we won the game, Shackleton might have been the better option at that stage had they not scored. But I mean, the last thing you want to do is put another attacking threat on and start leaving ourselves open. So look, we'll never know. But yeah, hats off to Jesse Marsch for having the bollocks to change things at the last minute and throwing caution to the wind and just going for it.
Yeah, very much so. First half, frustrating to watch because we should have been 4 or 5 goals up. The first one that really pissed me off was Rafinha blocked his own shot with his own foot. I have never witnessed that. And then he hits the crossbar. Well, he hit the crossbar twice in the match. Pascal misses the tap in, and Paddy Bamford messes up a 1-on-1. That first half, did you go into the sort of half-time, start a second half thinking, holy shit, we're going to absolutely knock their pan in the second half? Or were you a wee bit worried that those missed chances would bite us in the arse? The
only thought I was thinking at half-time was Bamford needs to go off because he was gassed after 30 minutes. You could tell, when he messed up that 1-on-1, that was a very tired shot from him. I think with a fully fit, match-fit Patrick Bamford, that's a goal. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking at half-time, take Bamford off, bring Joffrey on. But, you're right. The first half was very, very promising. We should have been at least 4-0 up, 100%. you mentioned the chances there. Struick, I don't know how he smashes that over the bar from 2 yards out. He's got an open goal right in front of him. Don't know how he missed that. Rafinha unlucky to the bar. Rafinha's always hitting the bar. He hit the bar in the second half as well, didn't he? From the free kick.
The free kick, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He should go on Soccer AM. He'd absolutely walk that challenge, wouldn't he?
Crossbar challenge, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, no, at half time I was confident. Obviously, if we had been more than 1-0 up, I would have been a lot happier. But at half time, it was a much better feeling than what it has been in previous weeks. You look at the last home game, Spurs, we were 3-0 down at half time. It definitely beats that.
Yeah, it really does. Really does.
Villa before that, even Villa was not much better.
Well, that win gives us a bit of a boost. We're still 16th in the league, but we've got other teams right on our arse. Everton with 3 games in hand. They've Newcastle tomorrow night, and then their game against Southampton. Southampton Burnley at the weekend's been postponed. Couple of games this weekend postponed. But Everton, they should have beat Wolves. I watched that back there on Monday, and they didn't play bad. That first half, they were very much like us against Norwich. They battered Wolves, and then they walked away with a 1-0 loss. It's a very Leedsy thing to see happen. But what's going on at Everton is basically Frank Lampard is showing the world his managerial prowess. Now let's talk about Everton here quickly, because tonight, for everyone watching now, what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be looking at this relegation battle between us, Everton, Watford and Burnley. Because really it's us 4 down there and 2 of us are going down, I think.
Would you not include Brentford in there, Scotty?
I think after Brentford beating Burnley, they're as good as safe.
Do you know why? Do you know the reason why I'd be tempted to include Burnley is because they're only 4 points ahead of us, and we play them on the last 2 games of the season.
That's true. Well, this week anyway.
All right, sorry, I didn't realise that was part of the show.
But it's a fair point, because you know what? If we beat Brentford or if we beat Wolves on Friday, touch wood, touching every bit of wood there. If we beat Wolves on Friday, well then that's us only 1 point behind Brentford.
Yeah, same games played.
So if Brentford are safe with only being a point ahead of us, well then surely if we beat Wolves, by my own admission, we're safe. But I think we sort it out in the next 3 games, because after that it's going to be difficult.
Brentford have only won 2 of their last 10 as well, and they were their last 2 games against Norwich and Burnley, funnily enough.
Yeah.
So they were on a real landslide.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Everton have a very, very tough run in, and a very, very informed Newcastle travel to Everton tomorrow night. The last time they played, Newcastle absolutely stuffed them 3-1. We all Geordie tomorrow. Want the 3 points going back to the tomb?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think Everton can pull anything out of the bag tomorrow, Ed?
No, I'm hoping not. I'm really hoping Everton lose every single game they have left of the season. They're below us. They're not in good form at all. Yeah, if they just keep on losing, I'm happy.
Yeah, I know. We were saying in the chat, like, Everton's not a team I want to see get relegated. I don't particularly dislike Everton or anything, but I do want to see Frank Lampard get them fucking relegated.
Yeah. Did you see the stats, Scotty, that I tweeted the other day?
Was this about they've only won something like one game?
No. Frank Lampard is statistically the worst manager in the world at the moment. He's got an 80. I said this on an OKB last night on our main pod. He's got an 83% loss rate. His 17% came against us. The one win.
The only time he ever shows up. That's the only time he ever shows up. The highlight of his career is taking a shit on our changing room. That's a fact. So this week, really, the only ones in that bottom sort of 4 playing is us and Everton. Everton lose against Newcastle. They're taking one more step closer to that relegation. And if we even come away with a point on Friday night, that is making that so much more difficult for Everton. Let's look at it from the perspective we beat Wolves, which I was at the last game, and we drew 1-1. Again, thanks to Joffrey, who got the penalty, and then Rodrigo scored. It was the 92nd minute.
Something daft, yeah.
Yeah, Joffrey went down on the box, and Rodrigo knocked it in the back of the net. Loved it, because I remember that day sort of thinking things are going to change now, and nothing really did. I suppose this is our biggest talking point, really, is that our team is down here. You know, we've got that feeling, that momentum after beating Norwich. Now, I hate to say it, but it was Norwich. It's a team we should have been beaten, but that feeling didn't change. You know, did you feel going into the match, if we don't get anything at all from Norwich, we're down?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was a must win, and I think that showed in the the tension, the way the game was played, how it was played out. You know, every single decision was almost worth a lifetime and worth £1 million. It was tense. It was nervous. I remember I got up at like 6:30 on a weekend, which is unheard of. Do you know what I mean? 6:30, I was up. I was pacing around. I went for 4 or 5 nervous poos before the game. It was just horrible. It was horrible. It was just horrible. So yeah, it meant a lot, and I think it almost has. If we are to stay up, that moment, that goal, that Joffrey goal, will be as important to us as a club as arguably as the Pablo Hernandez goal, I think, at Swansea.
Yeah. What was your sort of feeling on it? Had we not got that win?
Well, yeah, it was a must win. Even if we had drawn the game, I'm thinking, all right, we're going down. We needed maximum points in that game, and you know, a 2-1 scoreline doesn't look as convincing, but we should have been 4-0 up at half time. So, you know, I'm more than happy coming out of the game, and you know, it's that moment, you know, that last minute winner. It's moments like that in football that, you know, you live for. And it was a big moment. You could see the passion for the players, and it could be the turning point in the season. It really could. You know, that goal will, you know, Joffrey will be, you know, so happy with himself this week. And all the players will just get a huge lift, a huge boost from that moment. So yeah, it was a must win. We got the win, and I'm now confident heading into Friday night, which I wasn't last week.
Yeah. Do you think the confidence was shown in the players there? The way they reacted to the win, and even the way Jesse March has reacted to the win. There seems that the players seem to be united as one unit again. And for me, that's the first I've seen them united the entire season. Like, there was no one sort of shouting and barking at each other. And we've seen different stories coming out that after the Villa game, there was fighting down the tunnel and stuff like that. Do you feel that this sort of change of mentality and those points are really going to light a fire in these lads now? Do you think we really will go out here and maybe take the 3 points on Friday?
Yeah, man. I can't see why not. I think there's a bit of belief back, there's a bit of bite, and they wanted to play for each other. Clearly, I think probably saying that it's there for the first time this season is probably a little bit unfair. We've had some good performances in the season, but we've been poor, and I can't help but think that Patrick Bamford brings so much back to that team, having him in the line, having a proper striker playing up front. if anybody's ever played football and you've got players playing out of position and you're playing a 5'9" striker on his own up top. Now I'll defend Bielsa to the death, but things like that, you've got Paddy Bamford leading the line, and it just gives us so much more of a focal point. You saw Dan James bringing it out. You saw Rafinha, Harrison when he came on, and Rodrigo had arguably one of his best games in a Leeds shirt because Bamford was on that last line of defence. He just created so much space in the middle of the park, and now whether that's down to the change in tactics that Jesse Marsh has brought in, or whether it's because Patrick Bamford's back, we'll probably never know. But I think it's been a welcome change with both of those things happening at the same time.
Yeah. Jesse Marsh has said this week there that he basically sat down and he spoke with Rodrigo several times. Do you think whatever Jesse Marsh has said to Rodrigo Wade, do you think he's kind of given him a kick up the arse and just done something that he's needed, and Rodrigo's actually responded well to it?
Yeah, it was very evident on when was the game? Saturday?
Sunday.
No, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, it was very evident on Sunday.
He's still got a hangover from it.
Yeah, it was very evident on Sunday that Rodrigo had been given a boost somewhat. It was man of the match on Sunday for us, in my opinion. It was put in a fantastic performance. Obviously, got the goal, and yeah, it was just so much better, a much more improved performance than especially what we saw against Aston Villa last Thursday. Yeah, probably his best game for us, and it's just a shame that he went off early. It looked like he had a bit of a knock. So yeah, shame that he went off early, but I'm glad he got his goal. Hopefully, he doesn't have an injury, and hopefully he takes the confidence into the next few games.
Yeah. Both of you've said now about Bamford being back and being the difference maker, about having a natural striker up there. And even when Joffrey came on, he was doing things that someone with that natural striker instinct does. You seen actually the difference whenever Rafinha was passing the ball in. You seen that James was running straight to the line as well, whereas Joffrey was able to go, no, well, I'm going to take a step back. There's the space, give me the ball, buries it in. And again, that's something that someone with that natural striker's instinct would do. Bamford in position, Joffrey in position, two centre midfielders playing as centre midfielders. Bill as a right back. Dan James as a winger. Round pegs and round holes. No more square pegs and round holes and all that. Obviously Dallas at left back, but let's be honest, Dallas is probably our best left back option at the minute anyway. And even if Firpo's back, I still prefer Dallas to left back. Do you think that maybe gave them the confidence, regardless of who we were playing? Do you think that knowing that they were playing in their own positions made them more comfortable?
Yeah, 100%. Nobody likes not playing in their favourite position no matter what sport you play. But Bill playing at right back just offers so much more. He brings the ball out really well, and some of his passes to go around was it Brandon Williams, their left backs? Dan James got him behind a couple of times, and it just beat him so well. Some of his passing was exceptional, and it just naturally gives you that bit more confidence in yourself, I think, more than the rest of your team. When you're playing in a position that that you've been brought up and played for years, and you're getting paid to play professionally.
Yeah. What about you, Ian? How did you feel about the round pegs and round holes situation?
Yeah, when I saw the team lineup, I was reading through it. I'm thinking, well, yes, Aylin looks like he's going to be at right back. Looks like Dallas at left back. Looks like players are in the normal positions. And yeah, I think not only the players were probably happy to be playing in their own positions, but I think the fans were happy to see, the likes of Luke Aylin back at right back, Dallas at left back. It's what we were used to last season. We were so good last season. It's what we're used to, especially Dallas at left back. I think he's miles better defensively than Junior Firpo. And yeah, it was so much better on Sunday.
Yeah, I was very encouraged with it anyway. I think at one point I didn't even want to do the watch along, but you put yourself through these things. So yes, coming up then, Wolves on Friday night. I don't want to get predictions or anything off you until the end. First one I want to get prediction off is, how do you think Everton and Newcastle is going to go tomorrow? I'll start with you, Luke, again, 'cause you're just there to me, but I'm not very good with these directions. You're over there, aren't you? Yes, sweet.
Yeah, mate, I'm here. Newcastle, I think Newcastle, I absolutely slated Newcastle when they got all this money, thinking that they were spending it in the wrong places, 25 million on Chris Wood and whatever else. But look, they've shown that money can buy happiness, and they look like a completely different team with Trippier and Bruno Guimaraes and others in there. So yeah, I think they're in too much of good form. Form is really important, and that win, the confidence breeds confidence, and negativity breeds negativity. To get that win for us is so important. But Newcastle, to be on such a good run of form, I just can't see how Everton will have enough to break their duck. So I'm going to go for a Newcastle away win, quite comfortably, 2-0.
Sweet. Ed, what about you, mate?
Yeah, I agree with Luke. Newcastle, they've shown that. I do think that they spent far too much money on average players, but those average players have done really well for them. They've taken them into mid-table. They're going to finish comfortably in mid-table, and I can't see Everton picking up another point. So yeah, 1-0 Newcastle. I'm going to go for
1-0 Newcastle. No sweat. Well, I've said a few times now this week, I actually think Newcastle's going to repeat what they done just a couple of weeks ago, and I think Newcastle's going to beat them 3-1. I hope anyway. Apologies if our cameras go skew with here. A couple of ones commenting their score predictions. Alison and Marty, see what I mean? Look at it. Our cameras are all just bogged off there. This is wild. I need to get these overlay situations sorted out. Alison and Marty over at the game there, and loved it. Although Marty walked off in a huff when it went one each, apparently. But you live and learn. You stay to the whistle. You're going to each. Steve Brown, you're going one each as well. This overlay business is going to be the death of me this week. A draw's still good as long as Everton don't win. John Smith's just commenting there saying Newcastle 4, Everton 0. That would be a lovely one as well. Nothing better than seeing Frank Lampard cry and blame his own players and stuff. Right. The other teams down there, now these guys aren't playing until the 2nd of April. Both Watford and Burnley's games have been postponed. I think was it to do with COVID or something? I have no idea. But sitting currently now above Burnley is Watford in 17th place. Their last match, they ran out 2-1 winners against Southampton. We've to play them in 3 weeks as well, I think. Now, they're playing Liverpool next on the 2nd of April. And the last time Liverpool played them, Liverpool done what Liverpool do. The teams like us at the bottom of the league, and they beat them 5-0. Can you see Watford putting up any fight at all against Liverpool?
No.
It's just no.
Yeah, quite simply no.
But see, Watford surprised me against Arsenal. And I know people say, well, Arsenal's not as good as Liverpool, but that's a fact. It's a fact. They're not as good as Liverpool. But Watford kind of gave Arsenal a scare.
Yeah, but Watford always step it up against Arsenal, don't they? It's like that weird, like Stoke have a weird rivalry with Arsenal every time they play them. Watford, with Troy Deeney and all that banter there a few years ago, they just have some weird kind of rivalry with Arsenal, so they always step it up against them.
Yeah.
I still don't think Watford are a team to worry about. I think that win against Southampton was just a fluke win. Southampton just weren't on it on that day, and yeah, Watford aren't a team to worry about.
You look at the goals, and they were a bit dodgy, weren't they? Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you've seen the goals. So yeah, I think look, they've got some class players at Watford, but I don't think that they're not our battle. I think Watford and Norwich are as good as down for me at this stage of the season, and I think it's between us, Burnley. In fact, I'd be as confident saying that I think we're going to be good enough to stay up, but I think between us, Burnley, Everton, and I think Brentford are still going to get dragged into it. You know.
I hope they do. It'd be nothing. I just hope we're safe if they do, because there'd be nothing worse that last day of the season. And it comes down
you need a result
Brentford.
away at Brentford.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Imagine they're the ones that relegate us. See that clip of Stuart Dallas and Liam Cooper and Bill Ayling singing Mind the Gap, Thomas Frank? That will be played on repeat for weeks on end.
Yeah.
That'll be awful.
I don't know. I think what happened with that Southampton game maybe was, yes, it might have been a bit of luck, but see the way they played against Arsenal, I think they got a bit of confidence and it carried them through into that next game. That if they do go down, and I am convinced Watford are going down, but the two players I would jump at, I said this 2 years ago about one of them, João Pedro, fantastic young player. I think he would fit right well with us. And see that wee lad, 𝐘𝐿 Hernandez, scored an absolute worldie against Arsenal. I'd take him. Just so that we could say we've got another.
Not Emmanuel Dennis?
Nah. I don't think Dennis would have the work rate or the press for us.
Probably not, but he is good. He's a good player to watch in that. But
yeah.
But
one argument for Watford to get him. Like, I'm surprised he went to Watford.
Yeah. One thing I've always said is I've never really understood why teams sign players from relegated sides, and I just don't get it, because they've not been good enough all season. And if they had been, they wouldn't have been either playing at that club, or the club would have stayed up if they were good enough. And I know one man doesn't make a team, but if they were that good or had that much of an impact in a club, then they should be good enough to stay in the Premier League with their squad.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some massive exceptions to the rule. We've got to look at, like, when we got relegated in 2000 and whatever it was, fourth. But yeah.
I mean, you say that, but we could get relegated with Rafinha in our team.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
good point. There are obviously massive exceptions to the rule. Actually, scrap I've even said that, because there's loads of exceptions. I'm probably going to get ripped to bits for that. But yeah, forget it. Actually, I'm not going to try and justify myself. I'm just thinking it's ticking over in my head now. I'm thinking, what a stupid fucking comment that is.
Yeah. Eddie Buendia left for 40 million from Norwich, and he got relegated twice.
Buendia got relegated with Norwich, and now he's doing all right with Villa.
Yeah. No, there's loads. We'll be here all night. Just call me an idiot.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry. Right. So, where are we? Yes. So Watford, their next game. Any of you think they're going to try and pull anything or get anything at all out of Liverpool?
Nope.
No. I think they're going to get stuffed about 5 or 6 again.
Yeah, agreed. I can't say anything different. I can't. Yeah, they might nick a goal. But yeah, I think it'll be a comfortable win for the Scouse Reds.
Right, Burnley, the last other team sitting around us there. Excuse me. They lost 2-0 to Brentford, as we're just talking about them. Their next game is it's at home to Man City. And the last time they played, City beat them 2-0. City are very, I don't know. City's in and out of form. I think they're going to throw this league away and think Liverpool's going to take it. Draw 0 each with Palace. Again, team the bottom half of the table. What is it with Man City this season? They've seemed to struggle against the lower sides.
Yeah, they're a weird team.
Automatically assume they're going to dick them.
Yeah, they're a weird team. They always struggle as well against Crystal Palace. Like, Crystal Palace, I think, have beaten them on the past couple of visits to the Etihad Stadium. Yeah, they're a weird team this season, Man City.
Hey, Ed, we beat them when we went to the Etihad.
We did, with 10 men.
We beat them with 10 men. Oh, Jesus.
But if I'm to be honest, I think Burnley are notorious shithouses out there, getting out of this and staying in the Premier League and staying up and getting out of these sort of situations. Dyche has just got a little, he's just got that little bit of grunt that he'll just give his players.
Dyche.
Stay up, boys. Yeah, and I just think they're just so experienced. It sounds stupid, but they're experienced at relegation battles.
Yeah.
That's what worries me or concerns me slightly about Burnley, I think, if anything, because they have got it in them to shithouse a 1-0 against a good side, or even nick the odd draw here and there. But they are shit. They are absolutely horrible to watch. Horrible. Imagine having a season ticket and having to go watch Sean Dyche and Burnley every week. Can you imagine? Could you imagine that? Where's the fun in that? Imagine going and watching the ball being belted out by 𝐘𝐎𝐒 on me in the air, 70 yards, and hoping that their striker gets his head on it. All day.
Yeah.
All day.
Old
That is it.
school 4-4-2. Like, what did you call him? Mike Bassett, England manager?
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It's 4-4-2.
2 banks of 4. Just horrible team to watch. And quite frankly, I'd love it if they got relegated because they probably wouldn't come back up for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're one of the teams that I'd like to see out. They're anti-football. Get rid.
Yeah, I think they're they're not a club that has that pulling power. I think that's why they've struggled all these years of sort of breaking into that
fucking
top
Burnley.
half.
Who wants to move from abroad and live in bastard Burnley?
Burnley.
Of all places, man.
Yeah.
Sorry if there's any Leeds fans from Burnley on here, by the way.
Is it not like
Burnley is a shithole?
Burnley's like the poor man's version of Blackburn, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I always call them budget scum because they're all from Lancashire.
Yeah. But having said that, I would take Maxwell Cornet.
Well, he was one of our targets last year.
Apparently so, yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of ones that we targeted and they've ended up at other Premier League clubs.
And we ended up with Firpo.
I know. Maxwell Cornet, Romain Perraud, and Boubakary Samari. All 3 players were on our radar and they're all currently in the Premier League now. So
but I mean, if you believe that, you might as well read the bloody Sun newspaper if you thought we were after those 3. Jesus.
I don't read anything past page 3. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think they do that anymore.
We've got some news here. The Roman Empire is beginning to crumble. Lille are beating Chelsea 1-0.
They are.
Oh, they are.
There we go. So for anyone's just jumping in, but yeah, Burnley, as you said, Burnley's an expert at scraping out of this. They just claw their ways out of it. If Burnley survive, I hope it's at the expense of Fat Frank's Everton.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
And I hope he never gets another managerial job because he can't manage.
Yeah.
If I owned a Sunday league team, I wouldn't offer Frank Lampard a fucking cleaner's job.
Nah, you see, the thing is, I would hope that he would get another managerial job because he would be so bad at that again that you would still see him cry. If he wasn't a manager, he'd be a pundit. And do you really want to watch Frank Lampard talk about Leeds on Sky Sports? No. Get Everton down, get him sacked, go manage Southport and do awful there.
Here, let him take the scum job. Sure, they're all crying at the moment.
If you could have 3 of this bottom lot to be relegated, who would you have? If you could pick the 3 now.
Everton, Burnley and Norwich.
See, I'd go at Everton, Burnley and Brentford. I know Norwich are already down. I'm just thinking if I could pick 3.
Well, it's still, see, in fairness, it's still close. Norwich are still on what? They're on, like, is it 19 points?
Something like that. I can't remember. There's not a lot in it, but there's lots of games to be played and in hand.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mess down there, but one of the things worth noting is those teams that have got games in hand have got a lot of games to play before the end of the season.
Yeah,
tired legs, small squads. You've got Burnley, you've got no centre back at the minute. You've got Everton who are having injury problems as well. Got a lot of games to play of Everton.
They have to play. I think they have to play the most teams out of the top half of the table as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if they keep getting games postponed, they're all going to pile up. And in 1 week, they're going to have an absolute shitter like we did. The week we had to play Scum, the Bin Dippers, and Spurs. They're going to have a week like that because they've still got Scum to play, they've Chelsea to play, they've Liverpool to play. I'm near positive they've City to play. You know, they've Leicester. I feel for Spurs fans. Now, I know for a fact there's none in Northern Ireland because the Leeds shop is getting fucking closed down because of it. I'm not even getting into that. But yeah, I feel for Spurs fans. But
Spurs?
Or not Spurs, Everton fans. I feel for the Spurs fans too.
I wondered where you were going with this. I just had to start Googling Spurs shop, Northern Ireland. What the bloody hell's he going on about?
I know the Everton. No, so the Leeds shop in Northern Ireland and Belfast getting. It looks like it's being closed down. There hasn't been a delivery from before Christmas, and they're running out of stock. All the money being made in the Leeds shop is being used to keep the Everton shop open as well. And they can't give stock away. It's absolute. It's infuriating me. Out
of all the club shops, you know, next to the Leeds shop, that's, you know, getting money pumped into it. Like for it to be Everton, like if it was Liverpool or something, you'd understand. But Everton, like
Everton, and you know what's
there's
right
not many
across
people
the
in
road
Northern
from
Ireland
it?
Everton merchandise.
A Liverpool shop. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just. Ugh. Anyway, back to the football. No more shops and politics. So yeah, Burnley's next match, Man City at home. What are you going for, Luke?
Absolute fucking steamrolling. 5-6, maybe 7-0. City, obviously. they've although they drew the other night, City. Was it Palace? I think they played at the Etihad. I think it was as well. They drew 0-0, didn't they?
Palace were at home.
Oh, were they? But either way, I mean, City have got some class, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? When they tend to have an average or to poor result, they usually come back and absolutely give somebody what for. So I just can't see past a De Bruyne and hat trick and 4 for Foden probably.
Yeah, Ed.
It depends what kind of City team turns up, but 3-0, Man City.
3-0. I don't know. I'm actually not even joking on the fence with the Burnley City game because I just have a sneaky feeling Burnley are going to make it difficult for them. City get frustrated and then somehow Burnley sneak a 1-0 win. I just envision something shit like that happening.
Don't say stuff like this, Scott.
I don't know how he's feeling. I just get that sneaky feeling that Burnley will do something like that, but then they'll go and get beat by nearly everybody else. I don't know what it is. I just have a sneaky feeling Burnley's going to nick a win against them somehow.
Scott,
no,
just stop talking, mate.
This is worse than your bloody emoji game. This,
yeah.
No, I don't make me bring it back. I will bring it back.
No, we believe you. Then it's fine.
Right, so we have got Wolves Friday night. Then, team lineup. What do you think we're going to see? Pretty much the same lineup as we did on Sunday, Luke.
I can't see why he'd change anything, to be honest with you. Apart from Rodrigo's maybe picked up a bit of a knock, but I've not heard anything else from that. I've seen the press conference stating that it's not even classed as an injury. So, I think we'll pretty much see it's the same starting 11, which I don't think you could not really. Maybe get an extra 5 or 10 minutes out of Bamford after half time before potentially, depending on the scoreline, Joffrey getting a few more minutes. But look, if he can have the impact he does when needed, then I'm pretty sure he'll be happy with that. And I can't see why or where you'd change things. We absolutely controlled the game, and that's what you go into games wanting to do. Create chances, and that's it. And I think we will do that if we play the same side. The only thing we've got to watch out for with these is, they're absolutely terrible for laying down on the floor and, typical European footballers play rolling about, your Neveses and et al. I won't go into to talk about them all or stereotyping all Europeans because they're not all like that. But these European footballers that seem to have got to Wolves just spend half the time on the bloody floor. It's so infuriating to watch. Raul Jimenez as well. He's Mexican though. He's not. He's awful for it. He got somebody sent off the other day. Wasn't it? It was it.
Yeah.
I forget who it was anyway, but yeah, it was a red card, but he made the bloody meal of it. But yeah, he's
done the same
type of football.
When they came to Elland Road, they've done the same. And I was sitting in the West Stand, and I was given dogs abuse, and I was kept being told, "Calm down, quiet yourself, wee bit, sir." But I just thought I have never in my life witnessed so many professional footballers in the top flight rolling about and diving and getting on like that. Jamie Shackleton was playing right back that day, and he absolutely made mincemeat out of Adama Traore. Traore couldn't handle him. He couldn't get past him. And every time Shaq tackled him, Traore was on the ground. Several months later, Traore's not here. So, I don't know.
How's he getting on actually in Barca?
And Barca he's away too. Is it Barca?
All right?
Yeah,
he went to Barca,
yeah, he's doing all right.
That's way. And that wee young fella, Johnny, seems to be getting a lot more time as well now. So, I don't know. Wolves will be tough. Ed, would you change anything about the lineup?
No. Why change a winning formula? I agree with Luke. If you can get, 10 to 15 minutes out of Bamford in the second half, do it. I do think Bamford should start. You start your best players.
Yeah.
Can't see any reason why you change it. Obviously, unless there's an injury. If the likes of Rodrigo or Bamford needs replacing, you just hope that March doesn't do a Bielsa and change the entire team around to accommodate one player. You'd hope it's going to be the same team. And just a word on the diving from Wolves. Remember the home game? Jimenez got was it Calvin booked, even though Calvin didn't touch him? Or no, it might be Liam Cooper actually. But I'll tell you what though, they've got some competition after last Sunday. Norwich were awful. Typical Dean Smith side with their players falling about. And I didn't understand it because they were falling about and time wasting, even though they were 1-0 down for 76 minutes of a game. So, they've got some competition. And I hope it's not like that because it's going to be awful.
Are you going, Ed?
I'm not, no.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. No, I think we'll stick to the same formation. If there's no additional injuries, I imagine would stay the same. Maybe, just maybe, we see Joffrey getting a bit more time, and maybe see Bamford play a bit longer. We will see on Friday. Do you want to do score predictions? I didn't do one last week because I was terrified because I've been wrong so much this season. I didn't want to jinx it, but do you see us walking away with a win on Friday?
No, we did our predictions last night. I went for a score draw, but I went for 2-2. But I could see it being 1-1 or 3-3 just quite as easily. I think, but they'll sit back. They'll invite us on, and we'll probably get a couple of goals. But they're really good on the break, and they've got some real class in their side as well. So I think we're good enough to go, and I think a point would be a great result. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. I think a point would be a really good result. Ed, what about yourself?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I can't see us getting a win. Obviously, though, I would love us to win. I'd take a point. Snap your hand off a point right now. Away at Wolves, who have a good team, won the past couple of games. So, 1-1.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, we're all agreeing on a point there. Our next couple of games are after the international break, isn't it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Bloody international breaks. Do my head in. It's not like
to be fair, I think
a club that a country that does anything in the internationals.
Yeah, I think the international break will do us good. To be honest with you, Scotty, I think with March coming in at such a volatile time of the season where you've only got 10, 12 games left. I think when 12 when he came in and he's not had time to implement his changes to that much of a degree that he's going to have a little bit more time. He's going to have a couple of weeks on the training ground, getting not just to get them to play to his style, but getting to know him a little bit more. And I think that'll benefit them all, I think so. Yeah, look, I think we'll come back. I think we'll come back a bit of a different side after that international break, hopefully.
Yeah. Because we'll have about a week and a half, isn't it, roughly? Nearly 2 weeks training together. Cooper will be back. Phillips will be back. We have heard now it is possible that Cooper could make the bench on Friday as well.
Really?
Now it could be very much of a Bamford made the bench and didn't play. I think it could be a very symbolic sort of Cooper's on the bench. He'll not play, but he's on the bench. I think it could be something like that. So listen, guys, thanks very much for coming along. At this point in time, do you think we are going to be safe?
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't like being too negative.
I think there's definitely been a mentality and a momentum shift there after that win. But listen, thanks very, very much for coming. Please do make sure you hit that wee sugar lumps. No, I can't even do it. I'm not touching anything. I'm not touching anything. But yeah, listen, make sure you hit like and subscribe. And I'm now going to spend the next 24 hours trying to sort out graphics and stuff again and make sure I fix things. But yes, what's going on? Anything going on with the Order No Better the next couple of days?
Yeah, we're hosting joint hosting a night tomorrow night in Leeds with Pundit Games. They've got their own board game that they've released. We're having a few beers with them at 𝐘𝐎𝐒, the 90s Italian 90s pub based in Leeds. So we're meeting there. Everyone's welcome. Anybody listening, if you're based in Leeds, get yourself along. We'll be there for about 7 or 8 o'clock. I think the first beer's on the house as well, from what I hear as well. So get yourself along.
First beer on the house, I'll be there.
Yeah, so there'll be a few of us there tomorrow night. We've got then just the Brady and Coke. We're going to probably have a bit of a chill over the international period because I don't think we're going to have too many away on international break. So, not going to do much over that break, I don't think, and just prep for this final running towards the end of the season when we can all take a trip down to Brentford and make it a bit like Bournemouth was a few years ago.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll leave Brentford singing Mind the Gap, Thomas, Frank.
Yeah.
And what's going on with all things Leeds then, buddy?
Yeah, so I've got a new podcast co-host. That's going to be back next week. Got all the graphics sorted out. So yeah, we're going to be back making videos in the international break and covering all things Leeds United for the final run-in towards the end of the season.
Happy days. Glad to see you back on the pod scene, brother. Right. We'll see you all again next time. I don't know when it'll be. It'll probably be, I don't know. We might do a wee one next Wednesday. We shall see, just to break up that humdrum international tripe if you're from Northern Ireland. And to all the Irish watching, top of the morning, happy Paddy's Day, potato.